Alright, so in this video we're going to go over what does it mean for lines to be either parallel, perpendicular, or neither. And again, this is an essential question. If you need more time to write it down, go ahead and pause the video. So over here, first example, parallel. That's the first definition we're going to go over. Lines are parallel if they have the same slope. So in this case, I have line 1 with the equation y equals m1 plus b1, and line 2 with the equation of y equals m2 plus b2. And it means that m1 equals m2. So the slope, another way to think about it, is to get from here to here, that distance, to get from here to here, that distance is the exact same thing. So actually, let me go ahead and draw that. Remember, because the slope is just a rise over 1. So if you take the ratio, or if you use the equation or whatever, you're going to get the exact same slope. Now, what does it mean for lines to be perpendicular? And perpendicular, sometimes if you see me write it, I'll probably write it like this a few times. But perpendicular lines are perpendicular if only if they are 1, negative, and reciprocals of each other. So over here I have two lines, y equals m1 plus b1 and y equals m2 plus b2. And if you notice, they are perpendicular. How do you know they're perpendicular? Because they have a 90-degree angle right here. That also tells you that two lines are perpendicular. So it happens to be that when you find the slope of line 1, it's actually the inverse of the reciprocal. Remember the reciprocal, when you make it a fraction, you flip it, the negative reciprocal of that. So let's go over a few examples on how you determine whether the two lines are parallel, perpendicular, or neither. So here, let me draw. This would be parallel, perpendicular, kind of like an X, or neither, which would be anything like this that doesn't look perpendicular or parallel. So the first step to do, the first thing I usually do is just find the slope. So here, use the same equation we've been using before. Let me actually write that over here too. y2 equals minus y1 over x2 minus x1 equals m. Keep that up there because we're going to be using that. So you plugging that stuff in, you get negative 1 minus 2, y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1, 0 minus negative 2, negative sign. You get negative 1 minus 2 is negative 3, positive 2 at the bottom. So the slope for this case is going to be negative 3 over 2. Now to determine what's parallel or perpendicular, we got to find the slope of this second line over here. Same equation, 3 minus negative 1 over 2 minus negative 4. Remember, a number minus a negative is positive, so it's 3 plus 1, you get 4 over 6. Simplify that a little bit more, you can divide by 2 on both sides. Divide by 2, you get 2 over 3. So here's our two equations, here's our two slopes, negative 3 over 2 and 2 over 3. And since they are reciprocals of each other, since they are the opposite and negatives of each other, this tells us that two lines are perpendicular. Long word. And again, I just want to reiterate that because that's the key to it. It's going to be, one of them is going to be the negative and flipped of the other. 2 over 3, flip it, you get negative 3 over 2 over here. Negative 3 over 2, flip it, make it positive, 2 over 3. So let's go. Determine whether the lines are parallel, perpendicular, or neither. Same exact thing. For line 1, find the slope, you get negative 3 minus 2 over 4 minus 1. You would get negative 5 over 3, so that's slope 1 equals negative 5 over 3. Over here, you do negative 2 minus 3 over negative 1 minus negative 4. Remember, that becomes positive. It's negative 2 minus 3. That is actually negative 5. What's negative 1 plus 4? That is also positive 3. Sorry about that. So m2 equals negative 5 over 3. Now we have both of our slopes. Are they the same? Are they different? Are they reciprocals and negatives of it? Well, in this case, they're the same. Negative 5 over 3 over here equals negative 5 over 3 over here. So these lines are parallel. And that would be your answer. How do you know? Because the two lines have the exact same slope. Now for the third example, I didn't actually do an example here in the video, but if it's neither, it's pretty much, they're not going to be reciprocals, negatives of each other, and they're not going to be the same. So it's going to be something, probably looks like that in the graph. And that's it for this one. So make sure you do the classwork, ask me if you have any questions, and then move on to the next and final video.